Righto. Let's see. We continue. I think after the very close victory last time, I just called it right away, rather than leveling and all that sort of stuff. I think I did start building, yeah, we did start building a hunting lodge. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, you were 1 experience point away from Ding Ding last time. So we now get to pick between these 2 cards. We either have a Boldening Blow, which the top half here is really powerful on paper. We get to disarm a guy, hit him for 4, and bless up to 2 people. However, if you read this the other way around, you have to have 2 people in exactly the correct spot to then hit one of these 4 tiles. I know there's a template here, but it specifies target 1 enemy within the enemy tile, so it is not actually an AoE, it's a single target. It just targets someone in this area. The problem is that this condition with having 2 guys there is relatively tricky to fulfill. On the plus side, this bottom action is pretty good. Move 2 and then give 2 people move 3 is pretty nice. Visual clarity it isn't. Yeah, it's a little awkward, but in fairness, they do literally print it here in the text box. Or maybe it hits everybody and it just disarms a guy. Maybe it's not actually visual clarity. I don't know. I didn't actually play this card yet, and when we were playing in the board game, obviously we decide how the rules apply because we have to manually target shit. So, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it hits everybody but only disarms 1 guy is what that means. But I think it means we only target 1 guy. But anyway, I'm probably not picking this, even though I do like both of these. Because this this card in general is just very, very flexible. I really like this card. Range 3 attack for 4 damage with Pierce 2 is like very, very nice. Makes air as well, which is not super important, but it's basically like a slightly better Javelin. Actually, it's a significantly better Javelin because we have 1 more damage and 2 Pierce, which is, again, pretty good. And also the bottom action here is really, really nice. Bottom summon in general is quite okay. And then we summon a Falcon who has flying movement for 3 tiles and slaps for 2 damage. And he doesn't go into the bin if he gets killed ever. Like, if we ever unsummon him, we can put him back into discard and draw him again. Also, initiative 20 is nice because it's, like, quick and early. I really like that card. Big chicken enjoyer. Yeah, we've had quite a few of those, funnily enough, in this game. Gloomhaven is a little bit weird in that regard, where every single, or pretty much every one that I've seen, I haven't seen all of Gloomhaven, but every summon card in that game that I've seen is a lost card. In this game, a lot of the cards are not lost cards. They are kind of designing summons more around the idea of most of them are fragile but useful. So if you ever have an issue where they don't do what you want them to do, you can still like resummon them and still get value of them in long term. Banner Spear's Man Summon reusable. Yes, also the Shadow guy that we've been using on the Deathwalker is also reusable. And even though we didn't pick the Bone Shaper, their main gimmick is summoning skeletons that cost 2 HP every time you summon one, but she has 3 of those cards, and they all are reusable as well. In her starting deck, I mean. So she can definitely get more as well, but... yeah, there's a lot of reusable summons in this, so the design is a little bit more around... They are flimsy, try to get value out of them. Rather than you have 1 card, make sure it never dies, but it is really strong. That does still exist though. For example, the Bone Shaper in the playstyle that I like to play these days gets to pick a card, and I think level 2, maybe level 3, where she gets a Lost Summon. Well, she also has a Lost Summon by default in her deck. But she gets a Lost Summon that is like really strong. It has like 6 health and attacks for 3. And you kind of play the game around that guy being the hero and you keeping that guy alive at all costs, and then you have a bunch of cards to make that work, and occasionally manually control them. Alternatively, you can say nuts to that and just play like normal, where you just like spam a bunch of skeletons and that sort of shit. So it's definitely on a case-by-case basis in this game, but a lot of the decent summons are not one-time. The banners are all one-time, speaking of the Banner Spear here. She also has another card that summons something in her starting pool, which is this one, which we never played. This summons a Torchbearer at the bottom here, which is a ranged attacker. Wait, it is not a ranged attacker, the top action is a ranged attack, whoops. Which is an attacker that does 1 damage but inflicts bleed, but it's a lost card as well, so And the reinforcement that she's kind of built around, which is also mentioned in her class mechanics, is not a lost card. You can just summon them over and over as your funny tank guy and funny help with template guy. So yeah, very good. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm clicking on the chicken because I'm a big enjoyer of the chicken. Actually, some overburn cards. Yeah, that's an easy mistake to make. We did that as well when we first looked at these in the board game. But nope, they were a little better about it this time. Or, well, better about it is obviously subjective. They are going for a different route this time, let's say. Chicken enjoyer. At least you didn't go chicken jockey, so I gotta say, like, goddamn, I fully agree. Okay, we have removed all the negative cards we can from the Banner Spear's attack modifier deck, so we have 1-1 and 1-2 left alongside the miss. That is as good as it's gonna get. So now we can either say we're gonna add some rolling cards, just to add some extra effects, meaning we have this one which heals ourselves, which is nice. Or we have this one that just adds an extra damage, which is also pretty nice. Or we say we could add some more +2 and push cards here, which is pretty good, or +1 and disarm, which is also great. The one that I'm not super excited about is this one. This replaces +0s with +1 and add extra damage for each friend adjacent to the target. That's fine, it helps make our deck a little bit more consistent as well, because the +0s are obviously still like not great, but at least they're not negative, and that's usually all I need in my life. That said, we are 4 players, so there's a decent chance that this additional effect also happens sometimes. I am I am talking myself into actually clicking on this, even though I started saying I don't really know if I want this. We have been really struggling with keeping her alive though, to be fair, so maybe the self-heal is also nice. This is pretty high value, 1.42 of these self-heal cards, even if it just heals 1 to get rid of like a bleed or poison or something like that. I think I'll start by clicking on this, so we have one instance of 2 rolling self-heal cards here. Okay, now we want air support in the deck, obviously. We are going to get rid of something. I am a believer that if we have the chicken, we don't need this card at all costs. I basically never get to play this top action where we heal everybody and then take damage for each person that we heal. I have played that exactly once, and it was useful in that moment, but it's not great. And the bottom action is nice, but not that necessary. We've played it occasionally as more like a situational thing, and technically the chicken would just replace this, right? Like technically we can straight up replace reinforcement with having the chicken summoned instead, because they also fulfill the need for, or the need for a teammate in a specific spot. So I think we want that. That does mean though that I'm not gonna be using this top action very much, because I'll probably be required to place the chicken for my AoE stuff, and I do like this top action as well. So maybe we actually pick something else here. No, it is notable that I once again didn't click on the card that lets me move my allies, so getting this mastery where we have a banner alive for the entire campaign and bringing that with us the entire time is still getting hard, or is still, like, very difficult. It could be getting easier if we instead clicked on the cards that move allies, but I have not been doing that. Could get rid of Tip of the Spear, but I do like it. We've kind of been using it almost every game, because I always say, like, oh, we only bring this against, like, enemies where we need Pierce, and then most games we do need Pierce. I did use this armor last time. I don't remember if we got much value from it. Probably we got a little... Yeah, we definitely get some value from that. It was also making my ranged attacks a little more awkward, though. Now we have another ranged attack that's gonna be awkward. Fuck it. Let's start by getting rid of at all costs, since we now can use the chicken to have a on-demand summon. Okay, next. We have the Drifter, who is not actually leveling up because he's already level 4, instead we get a perk point. Well, let's continue removing our negative cards. Once again, the last thing we can do here. Actually, we also end up removing some of the +0s. That's actually pretty good. Nice. But yeah, get rid of one more -1. Looks like these two are going to be staying in the deck, but at least we also got rid of the -2, so that's pretty nice. Anything new for you? Anything we wanted to change? I think we're... Oh yeah, I last time said that having all 3 of these burn cards in my deck ended up feeling pretty bad, so I should probably replace one of these. Because we now have Fleeting Dusk, which is a burn card that attacks from Shadow, we have Lingering Rot, which is a burn card that attacks from Shadow, and we have Dark Fog, which is this little template here. So I probably want to replace one of these. And it's either Dark Fog or Lingering Rot, because I mean we picked the other as a level up reward, so we should probably stick with that one. My brain is telling me that these combine really well, because one turn we do attack everyone and give them poison, and then we do attack everyone and give them bleed. But really, that's not as good of a combo as I'm thinking, because we could make the same argument for Dark Fog afterwards. As soon as everyone is poisoned, everything is good, so it doesn't really help that much. And again, I think the bigger issue is just that we're having a couple too many lost cards that I'm actually wanting to play as well. This is basically our only move card, to be fair. I kinda don't need Shadow Step as much since we have Restless Spirit. Spirits rather. Maybe we get rid of that. What would I bring instead though? Ah, this is another lost card that I'm tempted to try out. Okay, let's exchange Lingering Rod for Wave of Anguish, so we have our 3 lost cards back. I might try removing Black Barrage for Strength of the Abyss, but it does make my initiative management a little more fucky. Although Strength of the Abyss is going to be a little harder to do now that we're not playing Eclipse. There's also this card. I do miss this card sometimes. I didn't expect to, but since our attack modifier deck is now pretty good, being able to attack everyone for 1 is on average actually more like an attack for 2, and being able to do that without burning the card and also without burning the shadow is actually quite nice. It also makes dark, which is kind of cool. I might try that over Shadow Stub. They do sort of serve different purposes, so it's not like a one-to-one exchange in that regard. Okay, we did already do the mastery where we place 1, remove a shadow each round, so I don't need to worry about that for Shadow Stub. And this mastery is not happening for a while, so I think we're fine. And then finally we have a level up on Geminate. What have we here? We have Thresh and Flail, which is an exhaust that does attack 4, attack 3, attack 2, and make light. That is very sexy. The bottom action is a pull at range 4, which is also quite cool. I am a big fan of push and pull attacks, or actions really. We're not doing much with elements, so we're probably not triggering that extra effect. And then on the other side here we have a heal. Heal 1 guy at range 3 for 4 damage. Or 4 health, I should say. And then a loss bottom that stuns 2 people with a jump action. I feel like this card wants light slightly more than this card, and this, as in, this card without the extra light effect is a lot worse. Healing 2 people is pretty good. Those are some really want to have light cards. Yeah, I agree. In fairness, something that I haven't really done with this character, we have these cards here. Where are they? This bottom action, for example. No, wait, that's no, that's not what I'm looking for. What am I looking for? Here. This one, for example, is a permanent buff, like a persistent effect, I should say, that allows me at the end of each round, or at the end of each of my turns, to eat an element to simply make light or fire. So there are ways of setting this up. I thought there was a range form equivalent for that as well. I am currently blind. Here, at the end of each of your turns, eat something to make ice or light. So this character can set that up to where they sustain them or like supply themselves by eating other elements and turning them into light, and usually there's an element just flying around for you to eat, so it's not that bad. I haven't been playing them that way though. I always struggle a little bit with this class because this class is really hard to play. The problem is that this is a class that has a lot of good loss actions, and they have 14 cards in total, so that is really suggesting you, yeah, you can just play a bunch of loss actions. And in the last couple scenarios where you might have noticed that I haven't been playing loss actions, this character ends up being the one that has the most cards remaining. Shocker, with 14 cards in their starting hand. So if I'm playing the character class well, and I'm not burning cards a lot, and I'm not stuck in the wrong form without being able to like spend my hand and like being able to play all my cards, then they actually have really good stamina. The problem is when you start expending these cards and start digging into your lost cards, you do actually start running out pretty quickly. Because it turns out if you have like 2 or 3 lost cards that you want to play in one of these forms, you suddenly don't get to do much with that form anymore. So whenever something forces you into the into the form where you don't have any cards left, suddenly it's a lot harder to get out of that and like do something with it. So I'm actually pretty hesitant usually to burn cards with this class. Anyway, going back to these two. This bottom light here is like nice, but not that important, I think. This is probably a combo here with like fire or ice. We can probably combine that, like the ice we can immediately combine with where's the card? Icebound Quills here, which gives us like 6 attack, 2 pierce. That's pretty good, so that's like a pretty obvious combo, but it also is a loss action that we're playing here, and we need light to already be active, which then would be pretty good, but you know. We don't have that much healing, but we do have a little bit of healing. I think I'm gonna go for this card. Let's actually look ahead a little bit. Which of these would I pick? A lost card that heals all allies. And then during my turn I can take 2 damage to make an element. Interesting. And then the bottom action is jump somewhere, and if we have ice we can gain ward. That's not... This doesn't look super good. What have we here? Target someone, give them 2 armor for the turn, and also strengthen if there's coincidentally fire. Bottom loss, all adjacent enemies suffer 2, and then once during each of your rounds, 1 adjacent ally suffers 2 to make light or ice. I'm kind of thinking if I pick the melee card here, I probably want the range card and vice versa. From these two, I probably slightly prefer this intuitively, although jump 4 is pretty decent actually. But it is initiative 15, which is really good. I'll take the melee card here. And then likely take the range card next time. Okay, so now we need to figure out how we make this work. We put in another melee card that's just a big multi-attack. Just in quotation marks, it's a lost card that's a big multi-attack. I feel like I need these two because they're my attacks that transform me back. Maybe Reckless Jab goes because it's currently bugged. Or at least it was bugged when I last played. They might have hotfixed it. I didn't pay attention. Let's assume Reckless Jab is currently bugged and play this card instead. Sure. And then we have 2 perk points actually, very good. Had a very good successful round last time, huh? Oh yeah, also we are slightly increasing our odds of having an element up here because we are adding this card to our deck, or this attack modifier to our deck, which says whenever we draw this, we eat any element to make any element, and we are getting up to 3 of these into our deck in total. So it is getting more likely that we are getting an element. And I definitely want both of these as well. Do I want this right now? So there is a really cool perk here, by the way. Whenever you perform an action with loss on it, you may discard 1 card from your hand to recoup 1 card from your discard pile of equal or lower level. Basically, if we play a high-level burn card, we can get one of our other cards back. Not from the loss pile, but from discard pile, which doesn't long-term help with the stamina that much. But it helps a little bit. I think it's really strong. However, it's also really tricky to use because you need to really think about it. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't been investing into it. We do coincidentally have 2 perks available right now, and this does need 2 perks to unlock. So I could do this right now. Oh, you interrupted it. God damn it. Oh, never mind, you got it. No, you got it, never mind. Yeah, loss, I say. Hell yeah, Bango. Very good. Definitely helps keeps your turns good. It does create some pretty powerful situations where you end up doing... I can't do paragraph lines in chat, I was a little... Yeah. No, I thought Spectacles interrupted you, but that they didn't. You actually got both of them behind each other? Or like after each other, rather. Very good. Great success. But yeah, basically it really makes you... It shouldn't say keep since it's only on lost cards. Oh, you shouldn't say keeps. Yeah, no, what it does is basically you do a loss action and then you likely have another good turn afterwards because you get to recover the card that you want from your discard pile, and it does help keep your turns good. So I do agree with you on that. Like I just said earlier, I don't really play that many loss actions. Ah, fuck it. We have 2 perks, may as well send it. And then see if we get some value out of it. We grow with our challenges. Not that there haven't been any fucking challenges in this, goddamn. Okay, we also have a bunch of herbs, so we could do some potion stuff. Let's do that for fun. Let's get a rock root and snow thistle going. Wait, no, we already have those. Let's do arrow vine then. Healing potion. During your turn, perform 3 self-heal. Very good. Who gets this? Everyone wants this. Everybody liked that. I mean, either of my 2 tanks, clearly, since they've both been struggling. Let's give it to the Banner Spear. She's been kind of struggling with it more. That UI is a little confusing, by the way. What it shows is my current 2 consumable slots, and since they're both empty, it just looks very weird. So I don't actually select one of the slots, even though I can mouse over them. I just select which character is supposed to get it, and they get it done, so... also, I'm equipping this potion that I unequipped last time to not fuck up the challenge. We could make a second one of these. We do have enough of that. Or we can try to find another good potion. How are these lined up? I'm trying to rebrain. It's either Axnut or Snow Thistle, I think, is stamina potion. Let's try Snow Thistle. There we go. So the reason I remember that is because I've played the board game too much, and it has the same recipes, obviously. So, Stamina Potion is crazy. During your turn, recover one of your discarded level 1 cards. This is a nerf from Gloomhaven. In Gloomhaven, you got to recover, I think even 2 in the original version of Gloomhaven, 2 cards with a Stamina Potion, but I might be wrong about that. At least it's 1, and the level doesn't matter. So now we can only recover level 1 cards. That doesn't really matter, that is still really good, so we're gonna be happy using that. Again, on pretty much everyone, I think every character wants those. Stamina is so useful overall that it is basically universally good. The one that I think is immediately benefiting from this the most is probably the Deathwalker, because she has an awkward 11 hand cards, so in her first cycle she has 1 turn where she just has to rest with 1 card still in her hand. And also, one of my level 1 cards is one of my most played cards, which is Fluid Knight, so we can stab someone from Shadow. So I think we'll just start by giving this to Deathwalker. We do have some more herbs lying around, so we could do a little more. I do eventually want to research all of these. All my enemies love stamina potions, hell yeah. Let's do Axnut and Corpse Cap, let's see what this is. Frenzy Potion, during your turn perform attack 2. Very nice, this goes onto one of our melees for sure. This is pretty good on Drifter because the Drifter already has the buff that makes any melee attack stronger, and this is a melee attack, so this would be attack 4 on him a lot of the time. It does, however, also eat one of the charges, but I think that's still worth it to be able to just say, oh, I swing for 4 for basically just a Why are we saying we have some unknown shit here? Why is there new? What gives? Well, anyway. So you don't have to, by the way, Iron Man mode this. I have the ability to save this and reload this at any time. So we could save scum and we could do shit like, let's save here and then we go blah blah blah, and then we save and then we find out what our event is and then we choose another option during that event and then we realize, wait, no, that's actually worse, and then we reload and then we choose the other option and so on and so forth. I have not been doing that. I usually like to play this like more Iron Man-y without having to, or having the ability to reload and change what I've been doing. So, last time we completed this quest, I think. No, this one, Avalanche. And it opened up 2 new adventures for us over here. We have Snowscorn Peak, which is where we're currently going for the Algox storyline. Ascend to Snowscorn Peak and face the Algox Stormcaller. This needs climbing gear, which we do not have, so we cannot do that. Over here we have a temple entrance, because we uncovered a temple in the aftermath of the Avalanche. And this has ancient artillery, and we have steel automatons, and we have night demons, and we have elite night demons as well, so that's not that spicy. But yeah, so we have a temple to encounter or to explore over here, which is also quite fun. Alternatively, we have these 2 other quest lines that we haven't touched yet. We have the Lurkers over here with the Edge of the World quest, and we have the, well, this will eventually be automaton related, but currently it's just snow imps and polar bears. I think I would like to start the Lurker quest line. Claw Crushers, Soldiers, and Mine Snippers, as well as a boss. Sounds like one hell of a first scenario for the quest line. Try to remember what this scenario is. Well, let's find out.
Pushing through a set of spindly trees, you find a beautiful cloak swarmed over with scarabs and insects. It has ornate gold threading and looks quite expensive. But whenever you try to grab it, the insects swarm tighter and ward you off. They're fiercely defensive of it. You're always a bit wary of bugs that appear to be on a mission. This could be a harrower in some state of disorganization. Then again, it could be that someone left candy in a discarded cloak pocket.
So we can either try to communicate with the quote-unquote harrower. To remind you, harrower is the faction, or the race rather, that the Geminate is from. So they're a swarm of sentient bugs, and we are musing that this group of bugs that are swarming across some fucking cloak is possibly a harrower in disarray, in disorganization, so they might be like a little fucked right now. So we could try to communicate with them. I'm tempted to click on that because we have a harrower in our party, so there might be some benefit of like, hey, if you have a harrower, you now win this event or something. Or we can simply attempt at grabbing the cloak. I do know what this outcome is. I don't remember the item itself, but I do know that we get the cloak by doing this. I think usually this is not what you want to do. Like, this usually does nothing. I am tempted to try it anyway because we have the fucking Geminate in our class, or in our party. In case that actually does something. Let's try it, fuck it, I'm stupid.
If it is a harrower, it's much too scattered to communicate with you. You try giving it some rations, scooping the bugs closer, and even some old wives' tricks from around the tavern. No luck.
So yeah, this is the normal result, and I thought maybe because we have a harrower, we can do some extra shit, or a harrower identifies this as a like non-harrower, and instead just regular bugs. But nope, nothing new. We just get the default bad result. The other one, I think we take some damage or something, or maybe a bleed or whatever, and then we get an item. I don't remember the item, so it can't be that good, right? So surely this was fine. Or maybe it's just some hide from the discarded cloak. So, if I'm not wrong, we have the anti-armor card still in our deck. Yep, absolutely. So no adaptations need to be made here. Some of these crabs have armor. Specifically, I think the Claw Crushers. I think the Soldiers might also. So yeah, this is gonna be a little fucky. At least one card in your hand each time you rest. Be targeted by attacks from 3 or more enemies in the same round. That is possible. Become exhausted before any other hero. we don't necessarily need to survive in this one, so this is possible. If I remember the scenario well, it's actually not a very short one either. Oh, I actually think I remember this. If I'm right, the boss is actually really underwhelming. But I might also just very much be wrong. I've been very wrong before. It's either this or the exhaustion one. This is definitely one of our more exhaust possible characters. Sure, fuck it, let's end it. Kill an enemy attacked by an ally, perform an ability targeting an ally before your first rest and in between each of your rests. Perform 2 actions with lost icons on the same turn. We do still have some of these cards that we like to spend at the end of the scenario to just like do extra damage. So we could do like Violent Inheritance into like Vile Assault, for example. That would allow us to burn 2 cards at once. That is kinda the only one though. Because these persistent buff loss actions don't really count for this, or aren't really feasible for this. We do have the heal 3 people thing. They have been using that reasonably much. This one I think, yeah. Or just in general, like slapping a heal onto a guy. So I think that's probably what we're doing here. Collect fewer loot bags than any other hero. Kill an enemy and open a door at the same time, or in the same turn rather. Kill an undamaged enemy with a single attack action. Possible but hard. This is probably not happening because you're very much not our door opener. Collect fewer loot bags. We could try to make this happen, but it is awkward because this is actually usually one of our characters that does a little bit more of the looting. I'll try to one-shot someone, why not? These are very tanky, and this guy is a little bit flimsy, but they usually hang very far in the back, so it's gonna be hard, but we might be able to do that. Also, I think flimsy still means they have like 9 HP or something, given our difficulty. Perform no attack abilities in the first 3 rounds, that is not good for you. Collect more loot bags than any other hero. That would be nice, given your personal goal. Never end your turn adjacent to any other hero. That's probably not happening. These are not very good. I should stop trying my king nails. Let's collect more loot bags than any other hero. I don't like you sitting out for 3 turns. That's not great for you because you don't have that much. I mean, it just says attack actions. We can still do other shit. But the vast majority of what we are doing is attack actions, to be fair. Yeah, let's not risk that. So let's just try to get you to loot a bunch of stuff, which you kind of want to do anyway, so.
Following up on Safa's crab problem, you find yourself standing at the edge of the biting sea. An ice-choked gauntlet whose frigid waters have granted a swift death to many an overconfident mariner. You hike west, hugging the coast while hunting for signs of the enormous crustaceans. Frosthaven is visible in the southern distance, little more than a vague outline. Seeing it, you feel isolated, like someone looking back from the very edge of the world. Another half hour of diligent tracking later, you happen upon your first clue. A pattern of pockmarks have been hammered into the ground near the foot of a hill. Indents in the snow and dirt where the creatures have scuttled by. You follow the trail to a cave on the western side of the cliff, where you find a clutch of giant crab-like figures chittering restlessly. They're as large as you've heard from stories. Tall, hard-shelled beings with long, craggy limbs. And as soon as you appear, they rise to their full height, some of them larger than an Ulgox. They shriek and move quickly toward you, their pincers snapping.
It's crabbing time. Mantis warriors. That sounds like a great test, fighting them. We shall find out. But no, it's crab. It's crabs. Crab. Round 1. Is it the scenario I'm thinking? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Spoiling what the boss is? How dare you, game? Kill the coral corpse is our scenario goal. We have a lot of rules here, as you can see. Right. Lurker soldiers, 10 HP. They have apparently 1 built-in armor pierce. Yup. And they also innately target 2 people at once. And we have claw crushers, which target... Yeah, okay, they also target 2 people at once. Maybe they target 3, I can't quite tell. They have 1 armor built in, and then back here we have an elite claw crusher, regular claw crusher, and elite soldier. So no range shit yet, just like a bunch of mean, angry crabs. The armor pierce is not great, but it is... actually the mine snippers also have armor pierce, I think. Maybe I don't play Unbreakable Wall in this scenario. I probably won't use front lining anyway. This could be a turn where we actually play the top off set for the charge. To do them 2 damage as they approach. And then we summon our chicken as our second action. Technically have a banner that we could try to drag through the entire scenario, but I think there's a little too much movement going on for that. I would prefer being able to play at all costs here, actually, so maybe this... nah, never mind, fuck it. Let's just do this and not be too overthinking today. Then we do... Crushing weight, and... Actually, we do need to move quite a bit in this scenario. Maybe it's one where we play the movement buff as well. Over the armor buff, because the armor buff is not going to be as good against people that have Pierce built in, and again, the ranged ones also have Pierce built in, so... this might actually be a thing to do today. I won't need to move too much early, because these will try to approach us. Sure, why not? Then you do this, activate your buff, place a shadow. That's gonna be in a good position too. And then you act late as well. Hopefully late enough, that's gonna be pretty close. I could also just be in range form over here or something. I would act at 50 at the latest, unfortunately, which is not great. And otherwise I'm too far away to do anything. Really don't have a good starting turn for you here. I mean, I could just do this as my start. It at least gets me to act pretty late, and then I just attack whatever is available. Sure, let's do that. Lurker soldiers, move 3, attack 1 person with all attacks today. That is a little scary, but only move 3, so only one of them can reach me. This guy cannot reach me, and then the other one does basic attack and impair, which means I can't use items. Okay. Oh, actually now I can't summon the chicken here because my Geminate is in the wrong slot. If Geminate was over here I could summon the chicken in safety. I mean, that does protect me, at least. Let's do it anyway, yeah. The chicken will then tank this guy's attack. Grab. crab. Oh, they walked all the way over here. That is not nice. I wonder if that's how that's supposed to play out, or if that's not actually ambiguous, and we should have been able to say no to that. So, they wanted to attack the chicken, which makes sense because that's the highest in the initiative order. However, they could have gone here or here. If they go here, they take 2 damage, and I don't think the game would identify this as a negative hex. I think this would have been ambiguous from the perspective of the crab, so I think in the board game we could have said, oh, he goes here and takes 2 damage. Because that now makes my play of like, oh, we do the spear wall thing a little, like, it makes it a little worse than it was kind of supposed to be. Okay, reactivate the thing that allows us to do damage, reactivate the thing that allows us to move. Could immediately drink the potion and do 4 damage to him against this 1 armor as well, but no, let's not start off with that. Okay, we attack one of these 2. It does really not matter which one we take, I think. Let's take this guy. I don't want him here though. Maybe we take that guy as a result. Put you over here. And then I could move here, so I'm in melee range for next turn. That sounds okay. You activate the buff, place a shadow over here. I could eat this dirt to make dark happen. We don't really need the dark tomorrow, although it could be okay. But I mostly don't want them to have dirt, because I think this Claw Crusher enemy type has some attacks where they do want dirt active. Yeah, since you pulled them there, the set for charge thing works out like you want anyway. Yeah, fair, but I don't know. I could have pulled the other guy over here if that wasn't a thing, I guess, but yeah. Okay, we are in a great position to do an unbreakable wall here because we actually hit all 3 enemies, so I'm just gonna pick a fast action here. Probably just do a basic, like, move or something with that afterwards, and then we just unbreakable wall all 3 of these. This guy probably needs a little bit more slapping than one unbreakable wall will provide, so let us... what are we doing? I'm now realizing that, no, I can still do that, actually. I now have to be a little bit more careful with my movement. Like, I don't want to accidentally move and use up one of my movement charges, which I did not have to really think about before. So we go relatively fast, we have a pierce attack on this guy. Ooh, could eat the dark to target 2 people for 3 damage, which I think is what we're going to be doing today. And then for my second trick, I could summon the shadow. They don't really have a spot to go to right now. I guess a spot could open up. These guys have all multi-target stuff though, and the shadow only has 1 HP, so it's probably not great. Actually, I can't summon the shadow if I already have a top action planned out. Whoops, never mind. I'll just assume I'll move all hex or all shadows afterwards for 2. Like, likely there will be like at least 1 more shadow afterwards available. As for you, we could poison both of these. Would even be fast enough to do that before the Banner Spear acts, but that would kind of be my entire turn. Which does put me back into ranged form if I want to be in ranged form. But this is also one of those rare situations where I just get to stab someone 4 times or 3 times rather in 1 turn, so I think we'll just do that instead. It sounds pretty fun. Okay, what have we here? So the Claw Crushers today have Retaliate 2 and 2 armor, which is not great, and the regular guys attack 2 targets with 4 and Armor Pierce 2. Or Armor Pierce 1 and Attack 3 for the basic ones. Okay. So these fuckers are being annoying today. That means my Drifter is probably not punching in today, so I have to move, which is not great. Also means I don't get my charge back if I do move. Everything working out a little bit less good than I had anticipated. Anyway, this is still fantastic, so we do a little multi-attack over here, hitting all 3 of these idiots. Like so. I get a self-heal over here, which is nice, and we get a push action on this guy, meaning we push him away so he doesn't retaliate on us, which is great. I'll push him like... Actually, with this guy dead, my Deathwalker doesn't have 2 targets to shoot at anymore. But I guess that's fine. And that's ultimately still better than me having to eat one, or having to eat 2 retaliate from this guy, who didn't even take any damage from the attack. I could then walk somewhere if I wanted to. How far do you guys go? Move 3 is not that much. It's also only this guy, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I could just walk up here, for example. Sure. Geminade does a lot of stabbing today, so we stab him for 2 and poison. Becomes 3 and I could push him, but there's no room to push him, so it automatically skipped it for me. How nice. And we stab him 2 more times. Eat an element to make an element. We eat earth, we create... I would need to be able to look at my hand right now for that. Light, I guess, is the only thing that might matter, so let's do light. And then we have 1 more attack. Very good. Sweet. Okay, do I still do the same thing I was planning on? Well, I'm playing the same cards, but I'm doing it slightly differently. So rather than using this as an ally attack, we lose one of my bonuses before other bonuses. So we use up one of these. And now we have a ranged attack at least instead. And this ranged attack has 2 pierce still, so this does on paper do some damage. Very good, and since we roll the ranged attack, he doesn't get to retaliate. And then we walk a little closer. They seem to move 3 tiles on average, so being here should be fine. Skip movement. This cost me 1 of my movement charges, but we also get 1 charge back. I'll take a attack charge because I value these a little bit more. And then Deathwalker, so you used to have 2 targets here to shoot at. You no longer have 2 targets here to shoot at, you instead have 0 targets to shoot at with this card. I mean, I will still play it just to get the 1 experience point, but I'll do this instead. So we attack him for 3 and mark him for death. This might do some damage if we draw a good modifier, we do not. And then I just walk a little bit over here. Yoink. Pound Snow Thistle. Oh, you hadn't acted yet. Whoops, I forgot about them. My bad. Okay, can't really move anywhere meaningful. Nasal Purification is certainly a username. Goodbye, Nasal Purification. I'll probably just give him a slap on the bleed. I could try to be late and see what they do. I'll do both of these cards. This should be flexible enough that I can do whatever I need to here. There's an argument that maybe I should be using Meat Grinder on top of the spear. Because if these happen to line up, I might be able to bleed multiple of them, but they are still very far away, so I don't think that's happening. So I think this is fine. Driftman. I would like to target someone with something, so let's do this card here, which allows me to heal 1 adjacent ally, in addition to slapping the crab, which is not a euphemism. Don't have a good bottom action. Don't need to be particularly fast either. This is a little unfortunate. Maybe I'll just be late today. Yeah, sure, something like that maybe. You are going to be... Are we shooting someone or are we stabbing someone? Looking to build an armor on the elite claw crusher, goddamn. What a crap. Don't have much going in terms of shadows. I'll just do this and stab a guy relatively early in the turn. It's a decent Icebound Quills on this guy. Not great, but decent. Could pull this guy, but I don't think we benefit from that really. None of these cards are particularly exciting right now. I don't really want to burn Icebound Quills this early. So I think we'll just use it to default walk here, and then we immobilize and hit this guy for a little bit. Okay, Claw Crushers. They act very early and immobilize adjacent enemies and impair them as well, while also giving themselves an assload of armor. Fantastic. And then the soldier wants to buff himself by using ice. I didn't remember they did that at all. And then they multi-target with bleed. Oh boy. Truly, they don't have a good spot to walk to and multi-target my two front lines with armor pierce and bleed and that sort of shit. Wait, did they miss me? Oh, that has one base attack only. It was the elite guy that did. Well, what a difference. The regular guy only does 1, the elite guy does 3 damage. That makes quite a bit of a difference there in that case. Rare, usually it's not that impactful. Anyway, this guy's gonna walk up here and snip both of my tanks for some damage and bleed, but I'm gonna be doing some healing today, so it's probably fine. You go here as planned. And then you immobilize this guy for very likely no damage, but at least I'll give him a poison. These are very sturdy crabs. Which I didn't mean to sound so surprised by that, but just, you know. Sometimes crabs are just a little more sturdy than you think. Okay, we move our shadow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, and then we stab the elite soldier for 5 base. Let's mark him for death as well. Because he's at least a little bit more flimsy on average. 1 armor compared to the guys that keep buffing themselves with armor. 2 damage for you, 4 damage for you. I received 1. Okay, not so flexible now that I am kind of stuck here. But I am still going to bleed someone. And since you have 3 armor today because of the fucking buff card, I'm just gonna bleed you today. Just a classic 2. And then I could waddle somewhere. These haven't been doing much moving, so I don't really want to get any closer. What other cards are we looking at? We have Let Them Come, so I kind of want to still stand roughly like this for next turn. Javelin not super helpful. Can't really set up a decent meat grinder here. Could go here, I guess. But they would have to act first, and I'll already be in this place, and they have no reason to waddle here. Nah, that's probably not gonna do all that much. Yeah, I'll just skip movement here. You take an ow, then we heal 1, 2, 3, because why not? Get a little bleed all around, then we slap one of you for 4. Yeah, let's continue. Lurking down the soldier guy. I heal myself for 2. And then I get one of my melee charges back. Roar! Roar! Okay, I would like to be a little later in the turn order. So let's do something like this. Not a lot of movement. I'm hoping to still somehow get a good meat grinder here. If someone walks here, then we can hit both of these with the meat grinder. The Rifter. I'll just continue to slap one guy every turn, basically. And I'll use this bottom to heal myself after slapping this guy. We are out of shadows, but this is fine because we're gonna be deadbolting today. And then I guess we click on this, because why not? You are in ranged form. Kinda need to wait for these guys to get a little closer. Let's hope initiative 50 is good enough for that. And then we'll do... This will transform me back, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is fine. And for my other action, I will... I actually don't have a good top attack here that I actually want to play. That is a little disappointing. Guess that's not what we're doing. I'll try to be late and hope they get a little closer this time, and then I'll look for an opportunity to play this and hit multiple people. The soldier is not moving at least, but the other two are getting closer finally, so that's fine. Also doing that relatively early, gave a bleed to both of my tanks again and give himself some armor. Dickhead. Classic dickhead behavior. Not a big fan. I would like to attack the soldier and hope I draw a +1. Chances are pretty decent. Because then we get a shadow for the other character. Like, I'd like this guy to be dead, and then focus on the... Oh yeah, nice, very good. Focus on the other guy. I'll place this shadow over here, I think. It should be fine. You get the loot. And then we heal ourselves for a cool 2, which gets rid of the bleed. Deathwalker. You shoot. With a curse as well, because why not? Soldier man, mark him for death as well. Oh, I do this one. That is sort of handy. Oh, I can mouse them over here in the turn order to see not which number they are specifically, but at least like it highlights which one of these acts when. I guess that makes sense. We were musing earlier about how, not earlier, but like in other sessions, like we can't see which number of, like in the order of things they are. But like which, when it says like, this target's lurker 3, which one is lurker 3, which one is 4, and so on and so forth. So this might help a little bit sometimes. You're not going very far, to be fair. But hey, I guess at least it's something. Don't want to get any closer. They're just gonna attack me. This guy can't attack me today, so he is disarmed. And stand here just fine. And you pull up. Okay, we did manage to draw, or not draw, but we did manage to end up in a position where these two are attackable both at once with Scarab Flight, so I guess that's what we're doing. It's not impressive. Like on average this does 0 to this guy and 1 to that guy. Would on average do 2 to this guy if I instead set myself up for that. What are you doing again? Move one pole. Can I arrange something for that? Probably not. Trying to find a spot here for a meat grinder. And I do have a push option here, so I could push this guy one, make him stand here, but that, like, I can't set it up to actually make sense anywhere ever. Which is a little unfortunate. No, it's not happening. Yeah, I'll just attack both of these then. Okay, we actually got a little damage in, very nice. Do I want to push these, or am I fine with them standing where they are? I'm gonna push them, at least this guy. Fuck it, I'll push both. They do have a lot of, or they seem to have a lot of turns at least where they don't move and just stand in place and attack, so putting them a little further away is probably fine. I am still gonna be stuck in range form for another turn, so I probably don't want to get that close. I think we actually just skip the move here. Okay, yeah, so I can't really... I mean, we could go here and meat grinder these two. These two, yes, well, our friend and this guy, but the friend doesn't take damage, so that's fine. I could instead throw a javelin and heal myself, and I think that's very slightly better. I do significantly more damage with the meat grinder. Is that worth it? Yeah, I don't on average kill this guy, so fuck it, I go here and we end this guy. Heal 1 anyway, very good. See, the fucking rolling heal 1 modifier is already coming in clutch. Giving us a bleed cure right there as well. Very good. Okay, final turn, we play these two because that's the only cards we have for this cycle for the Banner Spear. Kind of an underwhelming set of turns here and actions here for you so far. Guess we just pull up and hit one. Could now summon my my guy. Not sure I actually benefit from doing that. Could also teleport in and stab someone. If I do that late enough, that might be pretty good. You are gonna be doing this bottom and this top, I guess, which is not very impressive. But at least it will transform me back. Yeah, I'm kinda low on good ranged attacks, honestly. Need to pay more attention to that. This is a very underwhelming turn. Yeah, I can't really do much with this Dragonfly Search button. I thought this was going to be very useful overall, but turns out no, actually. It is not happening all that much. Because, like, this has an attack but on the bottom half, so I can't do that and the you have Pierce and Advantage thing. I would need to be in melee range with someone already to then stab them for base 2 with Advantage and 2 Pierce, which is fine, but not impressive. So I guess we hit someone for on average nothing and then give someone a heal, even though we don't really need one. So that's not... Okay, once again they act really fast and they act at only people that are already in melee, so good thing we pushed them away so they couldn't hit us. However, they do have an ass load of armor one more time, which is not great, not what I want to see. I did already use my poison dagger, so I don't really have an opportunity to poison you or anything. Well, I mean... Can't be helped. Wow, we do double damage, which is still 0. Sick. Heal you, I suppose. Brings it to melee for one last turn this cycle. You. Again, very unimpressive set of actions available here. I'm gonna move my Geminate up so that he stands next to me. I could actually use his boots to improve the move he got from this card. That is kind of cool. Now that he's standing here, we can play... Oh yeah, I have another move. Let's move you up here, I guess. And then we get to attack this guy, which at least will poison him. Once again we draw double damage, and because of 4 fucking armor this turn, nothing goes. Sweet. Which brings me to your action, which is going to be basically the exact same problem. In that I can move up and hit someone, but not for really significant damage. And I don't even want to do that, but I think I have to, because 2 damage is better than absolutely none. You have the poison dagger. Oh wait, no, you're not using the poison dagger, but you do have the cleave thing. Yeah, it's probably worth doing that for that part alone. Okay, 3 damage on you, 2 damage on the other one. Progress, at least. Now you... If I eat this shadow, I can stab you for, on average, 3, which is probably okay. Unless the card is still bugged. Let's find out if it's still bugged. If you're on a hex with a shadow, you may remove it. I remove it. Nope, it's still bugged. I'm okay. This would have been pretty decent, actually. Oh well. Shame. Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier that it's probably still bugged and that I was just not gonna use it. And I didn't need to use it, but I wanted to try. I thought maybe something had bugged out in the last session, maybe, or maybe they did actually hotfix it and I just didn't notice or something like that. But nope. Unfortunate. So, oh yeah, I forgot to drink my potion. So now we still don't do anything on my first cycle, which is exactly where I wanted to use the potion. Whoops. Unfortunate. I also position myself in such a way that I am guaranteed poisoning my teammates here if I do what I was planning to do. I am doing very well. I'm very good at this. Yeah, great. Okay, I'll take a piss, baby. Okay, so when playing the board game version, I used to play this on a lower difficulty than this, and I gotta say, this extra armor on everyone constantly is making me value Pierce as an attribute way more than before. It already I thought was a pretty decent one, but yeah, it's pretty annoying. These guys are very frustrating to deal with because of their fucking armor all the time. They don't really do that much damage to me. This extra effect where they do extra damage based on my armor is irrelevant because none of my guys are currently using armor. Or like, have any armor to speak of. So that part is fine, it's not gonna hurt that much. So this would, on paper, be a great turn to actually do damage to them, but my party is resting. I'm just gonna give you a regular slap. I'm tempted to use the potion to give him another regular slap, but we are burning through these extra damage charges pretty quickly. I don't think I have any good cards on my deck to just get them back for free, right? Like, I don't have the... Could skip the top action or the top attack of that part. There's one that gives me a charge back. Yeah, I don't have the... oh yeah, that was the level 1 armor card that I'm not playing that had the recover thing on it. Do I risk it? Draw a +1 and kill him, or... Not worth. I vote not worth, fuck it. And I don't want to move because that will just use one of my charges for free. You go here. Maybe it would have been worth because my Geminate is also going to be attacking today. Whatever. Okay, we're attacking both of these. We're piercing, but we're only doing 1 base damage, but at least we're also applying poison. Very good. Yeah, this would have very, very likely died if I had chosen to attack him with my Drifter. Oh well. Bit of damage to you and impair, which doesn't really matter. Slightly more damage to you, which is unfortunate but not bad. 2 damage for you. Nothing for you. And this would be where my other 2 characters now finish them off while they don't have armor. Except, yeah. I think this is my weakest card currently. I should have probably gotten rid of this a while ago. I might keep Unbreakable Wall just because it's an attack 3 card if I get to actually play it. Yeah, let's get rid of Deflecting Maneuver. Even if I do get the odd advantage attack here, I don't think it's worth it. Deathwalker. So we get most of our health back right away. I'm probably just gonna get rid of my summon this game. Might not even wanted to bring him. Having 1 less teleport option is slightly not great, but it's not really that important either. It's not very likely to matter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Would have to do this pretty late in the turn. Oh, I could go here and meat grinder these 2. That would be fantastic. I should do that. Actually, I'll do this at Initiative 6. It's a bit of a waste because we're only moving 2 tiles, but their defensive cards are all like 12, 13 sort of area. Yeah, 11 and 13 are the ones that give them armor. So if I go here on Initiative 6, I can hit both of these with the meat grinder before they have a chance to play any extra armor bullshit. So I think that's worth risking. And by risking, I mean worth spending the move 4 on. I will then play... This probably does not work out. Let's queue this up so we can move the shadow under the tankier one in case that would finish it off. And then let's line up some sort of top action. Probably not Fluid Knight. Actually, maybe it is Fluid Knight. Don't really have many other reasonable options here. Okay, you've been through all your cards, so it's your turn to rest today. Basic attack from both of these, fair enough. Bottle on over here, meat grinder hits both of these for 4 and a bleed. very average damage. Okay, you ideally kill this guy because otherwise you are gonna take some significant damage. Actually, I can use this to guarantee that you kill him. Because you will do 3 damage to him guaranteed, and then he'll take 1 from the bleed at the start of his turn, which is probably my best option right now. Then we just skip your top action, which is fine. Okay. Long rest. I don't want to get rid of preparation because it's so fast. It's not faster than the tanks though, so does that really matter? I'm basically never playing this top half, and this bottom is like nice, but not great. Could also be this. I feel like the top action here is simply too weak with only 3 damage to do anything, and the bottom one I don't want to burn since it's a rather long scenario, I think. Gemini get any loot cards at all? He has 1, I think. Yeah, he looted 1, and I think that's currently our top as well. Like, I think everyone has 1. Has to be a way for me to do this more quickly. Banner has 0, everyone else has 1. Yeah, I did think about that. The big problem is that I don't have a loot card with him that I actually like to play, so he has to actually end off turn loot by just waddling on top of something. Which is not ideal. Oh, that's what you mean, any loot card. Yeah, he has, sorry, yeah, well, the problem is that you build a loot deck with loot cards as well, so you loot cards, but yeah, but it makes perfect sense what you said, sorry, I just misunderstood. Yeah, in the deck that I'm built, the way that I've built him, he does not have a loot action. He has 1 for melee and range available, like 1 for each available, and I picked neither of them. Hornet Stingers might actually be pretty valuable just because of the fucking Pierce. Maybe it's Scarab Flight that goes, or Selfless Offering. Or Mind Spike, honestly. Although that is a guaranteed suffer 1, but 1 is really low. Let's get rid of Mind Spike, fuck it. Okay, Roundo 8. Yeah, this would be a great time for him to have a top loot action, which I don't think he would have, but grab these 2 before we leave. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could open the door today, I don't know if I want that. Round 8, open first door. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there were 6 rather tanky enemies in here, so it's not really as bad as it looks. Doesn't mean it's good, it's just... I guess we'll play this. No one needs the heal, really. I mean, Deathwalker is missing 1 HP, but whatever. Two, 3, 4... 4 is probably all I need, really. I'm gonna do this as a basic move and then drop... Am I being too greedy? Probably a little. Let's do this to skip, I guess. I genuinely don't have much of a top action if there's no enemies in the room. Interesting. Or in the area, I should say. I don't really benefit from moving myself that much. So I think we'll just move the Shadow 3. And then we skip our top action by playing that. You go over here. Way to this spot. And then skip a top action to get ready for next turn. So that we can open the door next turn altogether. Right, so... I could have targeted someone with a heal there. I'm a fucking idiot. I forgot that I had the challenge to target someone with a heal or with a positive, like target an ally every turn, whoops, or every rest cycle. I do still have at least one more option for that, so it's not all hope lost yet, but that was very unnecessary because I completely skipped the other action. I could have just done that as a freebie. Is there a... oh, I can't see during the mission. So normally in the board game you could see the loot deck during the mission. Here I only see the loot deck before the mission, so I should take a little snapshot. I think they should probably put it over here into this like scenario rules thing, where most of the time it says absolutely nothing of value. You should just have information on the scenario, like what enemy types are in the scenario and what loot is to be expected, because you should be able to, in the normal board game, be able to view that at any time, so the fact that you can't during this is actually a little weird. Okay, we're moving all shadows for 3. And then we're skipping. Let's loot this, just so you get anything out of this. Okay, we're going in. What is that going to look like? So I have a plan. I don't know if I can go far enough to actually do that though. So there are some mine snippers in this corner if I recall correctly, and I'm wondering if I have a way of maybe throwing my drifter all the way in there to start killing them because of his movement buff. We do still have 3 charges, which is kind of all we need. So I could make him move 4 if he acts after my banner spear, and then he like goes 1, 2, 3, 4, he's in, and then on his turn he can move like 6, go all the way into this corner and start fucking them up. Which would be pretty good. I'll pick this to be a little more flexible. It's a bit unfortunate because that is once again my 1 armor piercing card. But I might not want to go for the mine snippers depending on where they are and what actions they're gonna be taking this turn, so I want the flexibility of attacking someone else as well. Although that's probably not the card to do it with, honestly. Let's do it with this. Then you are gonna be moving your shadow. You could also just teleport up there. And then what? Yeah, maybe I don't actually do that. Maybe I move my shadow and then attack from the shadow. It goes up to here. Surely I'll find a target with that. So yeah, you then... is this gonna be in range 4 of anyone? 1, 2, 3, 4. Does not seem very likely. It's like a little likely at best. I could just play Dragonfly Surge, like the top, and actually try to kill something. I keep trying to set up a world in which I do the bottom of this into my embrace, so I have like the advantage plus range attack thing going. But all my other turns are so shit that it might not be great, I don't know. But this at least will let me heal if anyone is taking some damage in there or something, I don't know. The game is also offering me once again that I could switch forms here, I don't know why. I think it's just current version of the game issues. Okay, so walk 2, go into door.
Having dispatched the lurkers out front, you make your way inside the tunnel. A dank burrow riddled with pits of frigid water and stretches of black ice. What's worse than the cold, however, is the smell. An intense putridness emanates from deep within the tunnel, equal parts rot and corrupted flesh. What it could be, you'd honestly rather not know.
I did just realize, by the way, that this map actually looks pretty cool, with the wreckage around here as little decoration and like this little island thing, even though we're technically in a cave or whatever, it looks neat. Nice little bits of decoration. Okay, so we have problem number 1 with my plan. My drifter cannot reach this back row. There are 3 mine snippers here, and I literally cannot reach them because these guys are blocking me and my drifter cannot jump. So that is step 1 of my plan, immediately completely in the bin. Step 2, I just realized that I had the opportunity to move my Geminate with my Banner Spirit into position if in case I needed to. Like, had I moved him here, 1, 2, 3, 4, he still wouldn't have reached it. Never mind, I talk shit. So that wouldn't have helped. Yeah, next problem, these guys are fast as fuck, so even if I was to move my Drifter in here... 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3... Actually, they wouldn't have reached him in this corner at least, so I could still do that. But he really doesn't need me to do that, because he himself can just waddle up here and then do what needs to be done. Although if he does that, he's gonna eat a lot of damage. So yeah, pretty much every step of this plan has not worked out in my favor. I might just kinda do nothing here with the Drifter. I am getting to heal him quite a bit after the fact, so maybe he does still just walk in here and punch people. Gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up to 5 if he needs to, so I don't need to move him with this card. I guess I'll move the Geminate 1 closer just for fun. Simply because I can. And then we don't mind control a second target. Okay, I don't have enough range to throw the javelin at anyone either. So yeah, off to a fantastic start for this new room. Thankfully these guys are literally not doing anything either, so we're all just kind of sitting here and being shit at the game. So these all just kind of get a little closer and don't reach anyone. These slightly trigger my arachnophobia. So if I was panicking about the battle goal that I have, I could heal someone here for no value with this card just to get the effect done, but I don't think that's worth doing. I think we're not in that big of a panic. We'll instead go here. And then we get one of our charges back. I don't really need the movement that much anymore, so we'll just keep going for the melee. And then we hit you for a 4. I get to do 2 spillover damage onto the soldier. Let's do that. Bonk. Or not spillover damage, really. Heal myself for a little bit because why not? And then get our melee attack charge back. Roar. I could try to kill you. That actually doesn't really change much. Actually, if I do kill you, you will attack, like, I eat an extra attack from the soldiers, funnily enough, so let's actually not do that instead. Move the shadow for 5, we get to go up to here. Pretty good. We choose to attack from this shadow, we eat dark, so everyone that's being attacked gets a model. It is attacking both of these, right? These are highlighted in red, so it's doing it, even though the camera keeps jumping back for some reason. Lurker Soldier 2, that's this guy. No need to mark that guy, because he's not dying. What water fire we draw. And then the Mind Snipper, though, we probably want to mark. Oh, he actually dies, goddamn. As excited as I sound about that, I did just point out that now my Drifter gets hit for an extra attack. I guess it depends on the turn order. If this guy goes before that guy... Yeah, okay, so he does not get hit for an extra attack, very good. Where do I want this Shadow? Probably here? Close enough to reach the backline with my spear. Do I have Fluid Knight in my discard deck? I do. But this is also a reasonable situation for me to just do the AoE thing, no? Actually, I probably would have wanted it here for the AoE thing. I'm considering using my Stamina Potion here to try and get my Fluid Knight back, because Fluid Knight is the one card I could use to maybe get this guy done in one hit. Because I need to kill an undamaged enemy with a single attack, and this is the only weak guy remaining. I think there might be more in this room, but I don't think so. Given my current attack modifier deck, I would need to draw a double, which is not ideal. Because the +2 is already out. So the reason why I'm so hesitant about it is because stamina-wise, eating the potion right now doesn't... Oh, it does actually help me. Yeah, oh yeah, right, because we played a persistent card, yeah, fucking goddamn, yeah, sure. So we recover Fluid Knight. Yeah, I'm fucking stupid. I was gonna say, oh, we don't really benefit from that in terms of stamina because we have 4 cards in our hand, so we would go to 5. But no, we actually had 3 cards in our hand, so we go to 4, which is very good because it's an entire extra turn. Okay, and then for our medic bug, I'll just send you over here. And then you, I guess, heal this guy. Five damage is quite a bit, I gotta say. Shame that the turn order worked out so poorly. It's literally 1 initiative too high before the medic thing would have actually helped. Freaking obstacle, meaning we can't do our AoE attack properly, but I can still go here and do the other AoE attack, so that's probably fine, hitting both of these. Drifter is currently in the process of eating some shit. Gonna play these two. Top action to penetrate this guy's defenses and do some damage. Bottom action to heal myself and others, so I get the challenge completion. Now, do I Fluid Knight and try to stop this guy? Or do I do some sort of AoE attack here? I'll place both of these cards and just try to be late, which 36 is not very late. But there's a chance these go a little closer, and if they go a little closer, they can be AoE'd, which I think I'll take over my Battle Goal. Actually, we'll probably get the Battle Goal anyway. Or rather, we probably win this fight anyway. Maybe I'm a little overconfident, I don't know. Anyway, you play these 2 cards. You're gonna be after my other character, that is probably okay. I really don't benefit from this bottom action if it comes to that. But none of the other cards do anything useful. Actually, fuck it. I think we're committing to the Fluid Knight play. But maybe not this turn. Maybe next turn. Maybe we teleport in this turn. Like we teleport here and then we attack. And the next turn we try to kill this guy with Fluid Knight. Is that correct? Probably not. Ugh. None of this aligns in the way that I would like it to align, is a bit sad. Yeah, fuck it, let's just be basic. Okay, hardened by frost, say the soldiers, meaning they wanna double snip. They're also pretty early. And give themselves 1 armor, fantastic. And the Mind Snippers are late, they don't move and attack at range 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would love to move you out of the way, which we will not be able to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So you'll get a Muddle and a Curse. At least there's no Dark, so you won't be stunned, because I'll definitely not be playing Fluid Knight or something like that today. There's definitely not what was in the cards, which would make Dark and make it so that my mate gets stunned. I guess I could eat my own Dark that I... No, I can't do that because that happens after my turn. That is pretty unfortunate. Also, my Banner Spear wants to stand here, which would be in range of at least this guy. There's a world in which this guy simply dies. Also, do I have another thing that targets my teammates in this? I could technically still do that with another card if I use the bottom action to move out of range here. Okay, let's assume that that's what we're doing. So we're going here, and as planned, we do the funny multi-target attack. Very good rolls. We could push U1. Does this matter at all? Which of you is first in the turn order? You are, so you'll just go back into position. Yeah, it does not matter at all. I'll just push both of you just for fun. Do I want to do my armor today? This guy will pierce whatever the fuck I put up. These guys pierce 1 of the 2 armor points. But I mean, at the end of the day, when else would I do it? Maybe later. Soldier time. I could use my shield to give myself 1 armor for the attack, while the guy has 2 armor pierce, so the 1 shield will immediately just be penetrated and do absolutely nothing. That sounds like a great plan, let's not do that. Good noises on the bugs. I'm just gonna one-shot stab this guy. How about it? Have you looted multiple things? You've looted 2 things. Someone else has looted 2 things already, haven't they? No. That's fine. Move all shadows up to 1, so we move you over here. Move you over here. Excellent plan, sir, thank you. I came up with it myself. Okay, here we go. Double. We roll the double. Unlucky. Now, not all hope is lost. Actually, I could guarantee that I kill that guy. But that makes your turn really bad because you don't transform into melee and then you have to long rest right after. No, let's not do that, that seems terrible. I was considering if I eat the frost to make one of the elements for Dragonfly Surge, which would give it bleed and advantage, and with that it would guaranteed kill one of the guys. But I think it's gonna be fine anyway. Worst case scenario, the Banner Spear is gonna get stunned here, which honestly isn't even that bad of a scenario. Given worst case. So... yeah, I don't have any other reasonable plan here. So we'll give you a slap. One dead bug. And then instead of healing like we had planned, we'll just take one step back. Yeah, that is exactly out of range, so we'll be standing here. Now this does eat one of my movement charges, so we are down to our last movement charge, which is not what I want in life. May as well quickly slap the one heal into myself, because why not? And then for the other part of this... oh wait, fuck. I was gonna move up a little bit and shoot you at range 4 with Into My Embrace. But I actually don't get to do that, because if I go to the only spot available, now that this is taken, I actually get shot by this guy instead. So even if I was to kill this guy would then shoot me and stun me. Which is not great. So yeah, we're not doing that, we're just gonna be doing this. I will receive poison, this is fine, and then I attack you with... actually I have 2 armor pierce today, let's attack the guy that has some armor on him. 2 -1s, fantastic. Could pull you one closer, but I see no benefit to doing that, so we're not gonna do that. I then use my necklace to anti-poison myself. I then use my potion to recover 2 of my items, which actually I only used 1. Oh yeah, right, we haven't used the poison dagger. Fair enough. But only during the raid, so it should be, never mind, my bad. Okay, you double damage as well, fantastic. Again, so you have Pierce 3 built in, so even if I use my shield to get 1 armor, that is just not gonna do anything, and we're stunned. Stun is straight up the worst effect in the game. Thankfully, my deck is empty, so I was long resting this turn anyway, so it doesn't matter for Banner Spear. So stun means you have to select 2 cards to play like normal, but no actions will be performed basically. So you simply have to sit the round out, and you can't even say like, oh, I'll just not play anything. The only option is to long rest. You can still long rest while you're stunned, and that is fine. It's generally what you should be doing when you're stunned. However, it also means that you're, like, at least in most cases, it does still mean though that you're gonna be what should I say? You're missing out on, like, playing cards, and you do still burn a card from the long rest and whatever, so if it's at a bad time, you do permanently damage your stamina for the scenario. Which is not great. So here's the issue. I was hoping to find a scenario in which I can teleport in there, and then next turn use the bottom of this to get another shadow going. Instead, it turns out the entire time I have not been able to do any of that sort of thing, so we have no turn this round. Like, we have nothing that we actually want to do. I could teleport in there next to the fucking bugs and get damaged for no reason. And placing a shadow back here really doesn't help me at all. So I literally just walk up and do nothing. Bug time. So I do have a move 4 here somewhere. Yeah, it's this lost card. I think that's what we're playing today. Because I can use my shoes to instead move 5, go here and kill both, or well, start nibbling on both of these idiots here. I could honestly do 2 lost cards here, like jump over here, disarm them, and then like do massive attack on this guy, but that's a little overkill. I think I'm not doing that. So I think I'll just change Link's Boon, because these will be disarmed, assuming this goes well. The one issue is that I'm only initiative 34, and these guys have been really fast, so maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe I should actually still play another lost card. Or just do a basic attack up here or something, instead of Icebound Quills. Basic attack would be enough to kill this guy on average. I don't think anyone else is doing that today, since you're only shooting poison at someone. Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. And even if I don't get to kill this guy, actually, I do actually get the ice right now for the Icebound Quills. I am very tempted to just play 2 lost cards. That might be what's happening here. Let's see. So, Mind Snippers first, they do Calculated Strike, meaning they do an assload of damage today. Thankfully, we're disarming both of these. Hello, Dork. And the Lurkers are also hitting very hard today, or the Soldiers are also hitting very hard today. At 5 damage, multi-target Pierce 2. That is not ideal. Yeah, very unfortunate situation to have multiple bad turns in, or multiple bad actions in. I'm gonna shoot one of you for only poison and basically no damage. I'll take the elite one because you're slightly stronger on average. Keep saying on average quite a bit. Just noticing that I'm having this funny speech moment. I will jump here with my boots, which allows me to disarm both of these. And then I say, oh, unstable equilibrium. I can recover one of my lower level cards. Sure, let's do that. May discard 1 card to cycle. Oh, wait, no, I have to discard to cycle 1. Whoops, I forgot. Not lost, but move to the discard pile, yeah. I'm not planning on playing this cycle, so let's discard you. And then we can recover one of my discarded cards. I can get the same one back, that was pretty funny. I am actually gonna do that, because I didn't realize I had to discard one. I thought it's just like, if I lose one, I get one back as well. I'm just, I was just being dumb. Okay, fuck it. We play a second lost card, we play Icebound Quills here, we eat the ice for another +1 attack. Let's Poison Dagger this fucker as well and just hit you for a 6. That is exactly what we're doing. Do I Unstable Equilibrium? No, it's the exact same situation as it was right now. Or just a second ago. Right. So I have an idea, and it's not a good idea. I could teleport in here, is what I'm thinking. So the problem is, this is a very flimsy character and they're hitting very hard today. I believe this guy will go here and attack the 2 tanks, and then this guy will go here and attack the 2 other characters, which splits the damage rather than 9 damage on average going to both of these. Actually, no, they will already split. Yeah, they'll already split, actually, so that is one less argument for it. The main reason why I would want to do it, though, is that I'm actually going to be near where things are happening, rather than on the other side of the map, where I can't do anything right now. Things just haven't really worked out with the making shadows happen, and, like, the overall situation, so I'm just in a bit of an unfortunate spot. But I think teleporting in there is a little too risky, even with full HP. I'm very tempted though. Fuck, am I tempted? Like, I could teleport here, punch this guy, probably kill him. which will give me another shadow for next turn as well. And all it costs me is like 4 damage. What's 4 damage among friends, you know? I have convinced myself I'm going in. Hello, it's me, the backliner. We could also actually use the spear to attack this guy for 3. I don't have my +2 in my deck. Yeah. So it's probably not killing them. Simply roll the crit. I tried that before, it didn't work. So since it failed once, it literally cannot work, obviously. I mean, if I roll the crit, then there's an argument to instead be attacking this guy. Because then I would actually kill a guy that does something today. No, it's a 50-50. You either get the crit or you don't. You can't not get it twice. Oh, you mean since I didn't get it the first time, I'm now guaranteed to get it the second time? True, yeah, so let's just stab this guy and kill him with the crit. Marking this guy for death means I really believe in this hypothesis that we're getting the crit here. I'm also planning to long rest next turn, which is... You know, like, this is definitely a great play. Yeah, fuck it. We're just getting the crit. Nah, that's the news. After all this fucking setup, it had to go this way. In the end, it had to be this way. Wrong crit, yeah. Well, they also missed one. And a -2 on the other. Jesus, the game pays me back. Ow. It's a little more than I was bargaining for. Okay, we take 2 here. I'm very tempted to actually ditch Javelin. I feel like I have had no good opportunities at all to play it. I've only played it for basic actions this fight. Okay, what is the best shot I can do here? What are we doing in general? You're resting, because you're not very well. You are resting. I could quick rest here and not be a greedy bitch. Long resting here, getting hit and like having to burn 2 cards would be really bad, so I think short resting here is better. I would like to play this card today. Fuck it, I don't want to recycle, or redraw rather. Very likely to get worse. I might burn this top action today with the attack 4, attack 3, attack 2. That's pretty decent, I think. Attack 4 this guy, attack 3 if he survives, and then attack 2 something else. That seems pretty strong. We're only initiative 23. These guys are very fast sometimes. They're actually pretty likely to be very fast as well. They have a disarm at initiative 18, I want to be faster than that. I guess we're just standing and hitting. It's like playing World of Warcraft. I have these in the wrong order because the game is done. That means you are probably also better off being very fast. mean, the thing is, right, if I do this, I am forced to throw the fucking air support as an attack, which I'm fine with because it has Pierce, so I can either attack this guy if the bug isn't killing it, or attack this guy if the bug is killing it. So that's probably fine. As for you, I keep setting myself up in these situations where I kinda wanna play one of my burn AoE cards, but then really don't actually wanna play one of my burn AoE cards, and then still kinda wanna play one of them, and then still don't really wanna do it, so I am, as they say, struggling. I would like to move this shadow here, and then play the AoE card. The problem is that this is kind of a waste, given that my Geminate is attacking multiple times here, probably killing these two. Like, on average, we're killing these two. So it's not actually a good AoE turn, even though it looks like a good AoE turn, you know what I mean? Did I use the spear? I did, yeah, because we tried for the crit on the guy and didn't get it. I would go here, move the shadow here, stab this guy with Fluid Knight. So we're not AoEing this turn? Sure. I think this is the most hedging I can do. Yeah, look at that, fucking goddamn, they are fast as shit. They're not doing the disarm, but they are attacking two people. One of them attacks with model too. And what are these guys doing? They're just doing a basic attack. Okay, so now I have the next problem. I only barely kill that guy, and I do have a couple negative cards still in my pile. So if I go here and throw at him and he doesn't die from that, then that is gonna be very sad. But I think it's still the best thing we can do, because I don't want both of these to be able to attack. I guess there's an argument to be made about attacking this guy because it's much more likely to succeed, but this guy is the more annoying one because of the model. God, they leave far. Yeah, them being so fast really is hurting my entire plans. Eh, fuck it. Okay, plus 0, very good. This is why we get rid of all of our negative cards. Okay, he hits both of these, which is not great, but we'll have to deal with that. So the problem is now my funny I attack a ton card plan turn is actually a lot worse. I think I'll just stab this guy a lot. Like, I think I still play those. And just hit him for a decent chunk. I don't have the poison dagger, so I would have to play this bottom action, but I'm being a little greedy. And thinking that if I kill this guy... I'm not killing him with 2 attacks, probably, or am I? It does seem pretty unlikely. But yeah, I want to walk here after the fact. We can do this later. Let's start with the poison, let's not be too greedy. By the way, with poison on the guy, we now do 5 for 3 damage, which is insane. This is a 12 attack damage card. Again, not guaranteed to be this much, but could also be 1. It is very good. There's the miss. So it's, yeah, not quite that high, and we're not even killing him. No, there's a double damage at the end. Very good. Okay, we played a burn card. Do we want to recover anything? What's in our discard pile? We could drop either or any of these 3 and instead get one of my other melee cards back, which would specifically only be Venomous Barbs. That doesn't seem too great. It is higher initiative, to be fair, but 23 is not that bad. Yeah, I think I don't want to do that. Let's get 1 heal in here because we are actually kinda likely to get another slap here at some point. And now I want to get rid of this guy, ideally. So we'll get closer to you. just to be a little annoying. And then we move the shadow over here. Actually, I want the shadow over here, I fucked up. Oh well. And then we stab you. Or finally he dies. Good. This room went a ton more awkward than it needed to, but at least we're mostly done with it now. Okay. Long rest, and we did manage to get our... or we did manage to keep our progression for the battle goal. We haven't fucked it up yet, is what I'm trying to say. Just saying it in the most roundabout and awkward way possible. I think it's time to finally drop you. Okay. Does anyone here benefit specifically from killing this guy? Do we have a battle goal to get this guy done? No. No one really benefits from it massively. You kind of don't have a turn. I'm thinking you're just going here and long resting next turn. I can just stab you with this, honestly. It seems pretty good. You want to move forward and maybe heal someone? I do have one more charge on my sustained momentum. Wait, no, that's not the card. This is the one I want. So then I could walk next to this guy, making sure I get one of my charges back for the melee attack. And I am on... yeah, I should be before the Deathwalker despite the initiative tie. Okay, and then we have you. What is your job today? Your job is to ensure that this guy is actually dead. Have no very good way of doing this. I would like to play this AoE attack, but I'm slightly too late given what everyone else is doing. I guess it's okay for you to just be a little later in the turn order. I mean, I could also say nuts to you getting one of your charges back. Instead doing this so you get some health back. And you just go 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. Or here, I guess. Give someone a heal. And then you just go here and do nothing. You go here, do this. You go here, do that. That should pretty much always work out. Also gives me enough potential healing cards. They once again are incredibly fast today. They have Retaliate 5 today and they muddle everyone. Very cool. How many more cards do you have in your attack pile? Okay, you're shuffling after this, that is not ideal. Okay, we're gonna go here. There's your last movement charge, and then you're healing the Deathwalker. Because the Deathwalker is about to take a risk. I could not take this risk on Deathwalker and instead take the Banner Spear. That's probably smart. I don't get a shadow if I don't get to attack them though. Fucking look at these fucking traps in front of the door. Fucking bullshit right there. Nah, I'm not risking the attack. So you go in. I heal my Geminate for 1 with regen. We're doing the funny template, we're attacking this guy for 2 only, but at least we're not disadvantaged, and if the Retaliate procs, at least it procs on the guy that has 15 HP. Okay, good, he does. And both of us get a little heal. Lovely. I'm assuming I'll be tanking one of these traps with my Banner Spear, because she's full HP and has a healing potion still. Do I have anything useful to play? I could poison my entire team right now. That'd be kind of hype. But I think we're not doing that. Skip attack on you. 2 bits of loot for you. Fucking Banner Spear loots 1 pile. It contains 3 gold coins. She immediately receives, what was it, 6 gold, 9 gold? 9 gold, I think? Yeah. He loots 2 loot piles, each of those contains 1 gold coin, he gains 6 gold. Unfortunate, mate, gotta pick the right loot pile. Okay, we're gonna do something that looks a little awkward, because we're just gonna eat... Oh god, these have 5 damage and poison on them, fuck me. I don't have any summons or anything to prevent it, to be fair, so I think I just have to eat shit here. Ow. Not even an herb, yeah. It is extra sad. I am gonna try to give him at least 1 more loot pile though, this scenario. Not desperately needed, but would be nice. Assuming you bin this and go here, you can go 1, 2, 3 and stand here. I mean, she could eat both of these traps. I think that's fine. It doesn't sound very nice, and I mean, it is obviously not a nice thing to say about your teammate, but I think she can actually just eat both of these traps, and it's gonna be okay. Let's do these 2, I guess. You are sleeping. Okay. Sorry for what I'm about to do to you. Ow. Ow. I have successfully moved. I take massive physical damage on my Banner Sphere and Banner Spear, and immediately a bot shows up to also add some psychological damage. Very good. You know, that's not allowed. Hey man, it's not every day someone gets to tank 5 damage, 5 poison traps in 1 turn and be fine with it, so I think she's doing alright. Look at that, good as new. You go here, we do this, we skip the attack, we heal a teammate. I think we've already done that this cycle. I'll just make sure, fuck it. But I think we've already done that, I think we were gonna be good, but whatever. Let's make another shadow here. Skip you. Alright. We are down quite a few melee cards. We have exactly 4 remaining, which is probably the number that I want to have remaining. So we're burning a ranged card here. I want to play Dragonfly Surge at some point, so we're committing to keeping that. We're getting rid of Scarab Flight. I don't think that's gonna be happening much. If I recall correctly, this final room is just the boss. And like I mentioned before, the boss itself is actually not very interesting in this case. I think you're gonna be short resting next turn, and that's fine. I want to walk in with this and then give him a little slap. So I think we're doing this since I want to be late, so that the Banner Spear can move me forwards a little. And then you do this combination of cards, because you don't really have many options. This needs 4 move, we only have 3 as always. So you move 3 here, and with your boots you go there and loot that. We're probably not playing a top action, so let's do that. I guess we could also start in range form. Actually, I might want to change forms here so I can move and then attack. And since I'm planning to use Dragonfly Surge top action, I probably want to start in melee so I can move here, transform, and then next turn in range we do our shenanigans. And then afterwards we transform back, so I'm playing this and something else. And what I play doesn't matter because we're not gonna actually be doing that. Sure. Okay. Kind of not a great turn to go in with, because we don't really have much to do here.
The earthen tunnel eventually gives way to a natural cavern, where you find a half-rotted humanoid corpse shuffling aimlessly around like a lost drunk. The smell is incredible, burning your eyes and your throat. Looking closer, you see a large pink stone lodged in the creature's right eye socket. Another wave of reeking air overwhelms you, and you retch involuntarily. At this sound, the corpse turns and snarls.
Okay, we have a couple of traps in this room, I didn't remember that at all. Here we have the Coral Corpse, who actually has a lot of HP on this difficulty. This uses the normal bloated corpse moveset though, or whatever the fuck they're called in this. Frozen corpse, I think. These are not very strong, so it's not particularly scary. It's not nothing, but it's not that threatening for a boss. And given that the scenario says like, oh my god, there's a boss fight coming up, it's like, you might think like, oh god, this is gonna be scary, but no, it's relatively fine. I did wisely save a couple cards for this scenario as well, or for this finale, so we are overall doing alright. Snow Iceman is probably not even a snow woman. How is that lesser? Explain yourself. If I had a good pull, I could actually yank him through like 2 traps here. Which would be pretty cool. It's true, we did go with that choice. Fair enough. Yoink. Okay, so this should be you definitely the most loot cards guy, right? Because you have 4, 1 on you, 2 on you, 3 on you actually, so Deathwalker can't loot anything, gotcha. I am not in range to shoot you because you're actually still too far away. Well, that means I might have wanted to move my shadows instead, actually, whoops. Okay, given that you have this much health, I am actually going to long rest here. But I do think I might actually kite you a little bit longer, depending on what actions they draw. We're doing this, you are going in and shooting. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I stand here, that is good for Dragonfly Surge. I would need to move for those, so my action is really late this turn. That's probably fine. I can't really envision a way where I don't find a spot to stand and shoot at range 4 to 5. Why is that written the way it is? If ice is strong or waning, consume it. I guess because it always does the brittle? Weird. That's usually not how that's written. Anyway, So with move 3 you can reach anyone you want really, so I don't really have any way of kiting you. Yeah, exactly, it's just like, oh, if it's there I eat it, otherwise, well, nothing happens. Which is a little strange. How many attacks do I have? 4? 4, okay. Oh yeah, my armor is also ready. Hanging around with this corpse makes things warmer. That is one way of looking at it, yeah. Oh, you have Retaliate too, I forgot about that actually. Oh, that is not nice. Well, that's the tank good. I'm gonna not use my Frenzy Potion then. I was gonna just Frenzy Potion and hit him for another 4. Take 1 here, receive Brittle. We can cleanse the next turn with the thing. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 as we have calculated, so that's fine. We go here. And now we swing and a miss with our strong attack card. -1, at least it's not a miss. Oh yeah, Equilibrium. Could discard something to get something else back. Is there something I want back? Not really. See, the thing is, there is probably something I should be doing with that. Like, there was probably a play in there somewhere that I could have done if I was good at the video game. At least that's how I feel about it. Which I think is overall a good thing. It's better that I think, oh, this card is probably like, or this effect is probably like really good and I'm just too bad to use it, rather than the other way around where I think like the card does nothing. Or the effect does nothing. So it's fine. I'm just, yeah, I just feel like I am not using it well, or able to use it well, which is why I was hesitant to pick it. Funnily enough, even though it's just one guy, I do actually like Unbreakable Wall here because I can push him for 1, which is nice, so I can push him into the trap. These are the poison traps still, right? Yeah, this is the same shit. So I could jump here and then push him, so I don't actually want to get rid of Unbreakable Wall. And even if I couldn't push him into the thing, it does still push him so he can't retaliate me, which is nice. So Unbreakable Wall, even though it's a single target enemy, I do actually think I want to play those quite a bit. I think what goes away is probably Let Them Come. There's a little heal though, which is also nice. Most of these cards are pretty good here. Maybe Combined Effort goes? On paper, Regroup is probably the one I'm least excited to play, but it does have a heal on it, which is nice. I can use Tip of the Spear to attack him from outside of Retaliate range, so I'm probably keeping that as well. Maybe Combined Effort goes. If I want that effect, I can do Meat Grinder. But Combined Effort also lets me move my teammates. Set for the charge looks bad, but at least it's like A, really fucking fast, and it's still in move 4, so... Nah, fuck it, let's get rid of you. That did not make me happy to discard. Oh, actually, oh fuck, I already committed to clicking on this. I would have liked to use my element circlet for free before doing this. Oh well. I think this card is really useless now because we're only attacking a single guy, so the AoE top is not good. Okay, so I think what we're doing is we're doing exactly what I said. We're jumping here, we're pushing him into the trap, so he is poisoned for the future, which is nice. You are resting, I think? That sounds scary because this guy might hit him and he's brittle right now. But first of all, he has enough cards to burn if he really needs to burn one to prevent dying to this guy, and also he is likely targeting the Banner Spear. He does have an AoE card, but I think it's only 1. 2 actually, he does have 2 AoE cards, huh? That makes it a little worse actually, to long rest here. But I'm gonna do it anyway, because like I said, I think I have enough cards to burn in case something goes wrong. you doing? 2-3, that would allow me to stab him with the spear, and then this gets me closer to actually use the other shadow as well. Yeah, okay, so we're doing... Oh, actually I want to actively use that bolt though. So I think we're using Fluid Night and Dark Fog, so we're moving just one of the shadows in. That's probably okay, and then for you... I'm probably playing these two. For the move 3 and then attack and pull. I might be able to pull him into this trap as well. Which in turn is gonna be spicy for whoever gets attacked, but honestly, fuck him. Corpse is very fast today, but all he does today is brittle and immobilize somebody, so nothing to really worry about. Now, I would really like this to go onto the Drifter, but that's kind of just not happening without me sacrificing my entire turn. And I think my turn is more important. So we have jump today, we go here. We play Unbreakable Wall onto this guy. We miss, which is unfortunate, but we still got the push. Or we do no damage, I should say, since you pointed out last time that missing and still applying status effect is weird, which I agree. So the one issue is now he actually got to move away from the other trap, so now I can't pull him into the other trap like I was hoping for. The shadow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is too far away, so we have to use this one. Yeah, it is really, for all intents and purposes, a normal-ass frozen corpse, which is not a massively interesting or threatening enemy type. Especially compared to some of the bullshit that we've been fighting. Okay, so your plan of dragging him into the traps is unfortunately not gonna be working. We're attacking him anyway. We're just not gonna be pulling him, I think. Is there a reason to still pull him? Probably not. It does get him closer to these traps, but my tanks are down here, and my banner spear is immobilized, especially. He would still be in throwing range, though. I think I'm actually gonna do a fuck up. Because again, he is closer to the other traps now. And then for my move, I just stand over here to maybe not draw as much attention. Throwing cards, yeah, we definitely throw cards a lot. Let's start by getting my free heal from my necklace, amulet, whatever, headpiece. We do... We're definitely playing this actively. Maybe Deadly Shot is just not the card. We don't really need to move, and he's already poisoned, so the shoot for 1 is also not good. Okay, you can air support today and maybe give someone move 3 question mark? Honestly, sounds not bad. That is what, 20 and 25, so you're gonna be winning that speed tie. Good. We haven't bled him yet. I will be eating some shit for slapping him twice though, which is not good. I bleed him, but... we do... F... Yeah, fuck it, let's take some retaliate and do some damage. You have a shadow to burn now, so I probably want a deadbolt. Which means I have a free bottom action to just move some shadow or make a new one. Yeah, let's make a new one. Although that's a little slow. let's do that. For you, you are in melee form today, so I'm probably just gonna run up and do 2 stabs, which is gonna hurt you quite a bit, but such is life in the zone. Now there is also, important to mention, he duels an AoE attack, nice. Good for him. There is a treasure chest here in this corner. I haven't pointed this out yet. I've just been passively letting that sit there without mentioning it. We are going to be grabbing this. And this is also where the Geminate's funny challenge can still fail, even though it looks like it should be impossible to fail at this point. Because what can happen is, sometimes these traps have just, hey, draw 3 loot cards, or draw 5 loot cards or something in them, which in that case probably still fucks my challenge. So if I loot this and it's not the Geminate looting it, there's a chance that I still screw him out of this challenge completion. Or this battle goal, rather, I should say. Then we move you a little closer here. Do I want to eat this wind to have dark for next turn? What are we playing? Not necessarily, but it would also not be terrible. Yeah, he has no card that I need to look out for element-wise, like I don't need to eat anything away from him. He does have that one card where if fire is active, he moves further but takes 2 damage, which is kind of funny. But he cannot get that right now, so it's probably not worth it. So yeah, I'll just turn this wind into dark. Was immune to bleed? Nah, like I said, he's kind of oh, actually... No, he's immune to immobilize, disarm, and stun only. Oh, his attacks always apply brittle. That's why that card looks so weird. Because I could have sworn the, for this effect here, where the thing was like, oh, if ice is strong or waning, consume it, I was relatively confident that normal frozen corpses need to eat ice to apply brittle on this. And I think since he's the boss that always applies brittle on attack, they just changed this card, or at least in this instance, for the Coral Corpse, made it so that he just eats ice anyway, but he always applies brittle. At least that's what I'm assuming happened there. Because again, it's a little weird. How many charges are we at? 3. You can only move 1, so I can literally just walk away from him. So I'm now torn a little bit. I was planning to just stand here and get 1 charge back from this, but I could just go into this treasure chest and loot it. Again, there's a risk that I'm screwing my Geminate out of the battle goal, but it is relatively unlikely. Most of these chests are actually like proper items rather than just loot cards. It is very possible though. Let's find out. Nope, he got Restful Slippers Blueprint. Very nice. Looks like they show the built-in passes instead of each martial cards. Yeah, it's a little awkward. Also, like, if you look at the top under his health bar, you do see all of the effects, but they are, in my opinion, a little difficult to interpret. I haven't put massive amount of efforts, I suppose, into learning the various symbols that it's showing there. Like, I keep glancing at them and then going like, oh yeah, let me... And then I go in here and then I go, but I don't like try to hammer this into my brain, I just mouse over it. And also for this thing, for example, this is just the generic attack symbol. This doesn't specify he always applies brittle, unless I go into his menu and like mouse it over. This is the retaliate icon, that makes sense. This is the armor icon, so he has armor, that's fine. But for the attack symbol here, if you look at the stuff at the top of the health bar there, it doesn't, like, looking at this, you wouldn't know he always applies brittle on attack. So I think as a, like, failsafe, they put the I inflict brittle also on the attack cards. Like, looking at this AoE card there, that card normally would not apply brittle if it was a normal frozen corpse, but because it's him, it does apply brittle, so... it's a little awkward. Speaking of awkward... Am I really gonna go in there and stab him twice today, eat 4 points worth of retaliate, then get hit for 4 and brittle? You sound like have a red colored side icon for anything the enemy auto applies? I think that would just lead to the question of like, oh my god, why is it red? I think it's fine to just show, hey, he will do this. Because if you don't look at the guy's status effects, like, or rather persistent effects, I suppose, like if you don't look here, you don't, or you wouldn't know that he applies brittle, yet the card tells you anyway. Like, I don't need to know that he applies brittle on every attack innately if all the cards that he plays show me that he is going to do this. And I think the general idea is that all of the things I need to know are just going to be on the card anyway. So it's kind of a, like, mood complaint in that regard, where it doesn't really matter all that much. But it is still a little awkward, and I would like to know that about him, that he just does brittle every time. But again, if I just look at his attack cards, I will always say brittle on every single one of them, so... I don't know. Don't really need to apply more poison. About that banner is very exhausting. Oh yeah, right, you're right, I forgot about that. Very true. I should probably work on that. Ow. Oh wait, no, that was disadvantage. Not advantage. Oh, throwing... Oh, I thought you meant because I was talking about the fucking, ranged attack. But yeah, thankfully, getting to die is pretty easy in this. Overall. Actually, I want to be fast as well, relatively. Guess we'll all just take a moment to relax. Because he is relatively low, so if I keep attacking him, I'm actually gonna accidentally kill— oh well, not accidentally, I'm actually gonna kill him before the banner is dead. Thank you for the reminder. Hits for 4 today. 3 piece off. Make sure we don't fuck up our battle goal there. We go over here. Actually, let's not go over here. Let's stand behind him. Because then if he draws the AoE attack... Actually, I mean the guy will probably move at some point soon, right? Surely I'll just move away with the Geminate. Oh no, I took damage. I have to burn 2 cards to prevent this. And then I'll give you a... yeah, even if I do double damage, this cannot do all that much. Oh no, I took 2 more damage. Fuck, how will I ever... I need to burn cards to prevent this. Take a step away from the mad woman that is currently ending herself. Oh no, I had to burn 2 damage to prevent this, or 2 damage, yes, to burn 2 cards to prevent this damage that was going into me. Whatever could I have possibly done about this? I was gonna say, let's try and be, like, ranged to attack the guy that has retaliated, but it turns out I actually don't have that many good ranged attacks, like I was talking about earlier. I'll get rid of this, I guess, anyway. So like, whatever shall we do and such, yeah. It's unfortunately hopeless. No, the banner spear died. Oh no! Guys, we need to pay back and stuff. How could this happen? Let me actually quick rest here so I have a chance of maybe getting 1 more experience point. You would get 2 XP from doing this. Do I have something in range from that I can play for just experience? Oh yeah, I have 2 just self-targeting things I can do there, very nice. And you go after her just in case she doesn't kill the guy, very nice. Okay, he doesn't do anything spicy either, so we're good. You move Shadow. Actually no, we start with this. Oh, if this kills him, that'd be sad. Now I get the double. Oh, never mind, we get a miss, very good. Hey, she didn't kill him then, interesting. We move a Shadow over here. Wait, I can't... There, okay, I can have it sit under you. Just gonna be surprised, so that was 2 more XP for you. Drift Boy goes over here. Gives you a little slap. Sends the man, I get a Shadow here. Drifter's turn ends, you gain 1 XP for this. You skip Equilibrium again, 1 XP for this. You can see the banner here swooning dramatically in the L2 forehead. Ach nein, mein Leben! She fucking falls over and dies. Or at least takes a little nap. Although what the descriptions about this place have been shown, this might not be the great place for a nap. The Tryhard awarded for most experience current. I haven't seen this yet. That is a lot of XP though. Goddamn, how much XP did you get this game? Okay, so we fucked up this one-shot someone thing. We were keeping track of that and very aware, so that was very unfortunate. Everyone else got their shit though. We got the Restful Slippers recipe, very descriptive text right here. Also, this almost looks like a placeholder icon, but I think it's supposed to just be very white, fluffy shenanigans like that. Banner did pretty well this game. 50 damage, 5 enemies killed. Quite nice. Another trivial mission rolled. That one was actually pretty chill, yeah. Despite the relatively slow start. That room with the Mind Snippers can be very spicy depending on what they draw and how quickly you can bend them. More Gemini getting herbs. I think he got 1 this time, didn't he? Oops, I clicked wrong. It doesn't show who picked it up. But yeah, I think he got 1 of them. He has Snow Thistle ticked off, and I think that's the one we got. Yep. So yeah, progress, 1 out of 5. But yeah, a lot of damage done. 12 ability XP earned is pretty crazy. These are definitely both doing very well in experience this time around. Neat. I read the savage as the sewage. My brain might be lost. It is over. It depends on how many you want, probably.
Ripping the shard from the corpse's eye, you find the thing to be strangely beautiful. It's slim and hollow, more like a piece of coral than a stone. And yet, there is a certain weight to it that seems uncanny for something only the size of a dagger handle. You bring it closer, admiring its crags and hollows. But as you do, you feel its weight grow. It presses down on your hand, and then into your mind, sinking into you and pulling. The coral shard speaks to each of you, not with words, but with desires. It wants to move north, far out to sea, away from the cliffs and the frozen safety of Frosthaven. And it wants you to take it there. This must have been what the lurkers were after. A strange goal for savage beasts no more sophisticated than wolves or spiders. Yet as the chunk of coral speaks to you, you know it to be true. They sought this object, and in order to understand why, you'll have to follow the pull of the shard north across the water. But Frosthaven's tiny fishing vessels aren't fit for the journey, and you're not about to swim. This leaves you with a choice. You can either keep your feet on dry land, following the shard along the northern coast, or you can build a proper ship and head out into the ice-choked sea.
In coral shard speaking to me, what the shit? Each hero in the party gains 10 XP, the party gains a coral shard. New quest unlocked, Frozen Fjord. Weird that the camera jumped there to a scenario that is apparently not implemented yet. Hunting Lodge build. With a fire roaring in the background, the finished Hunting Lodge is the perfect location to exchange tales of narrow escapes from polar bears, as well as provide hides for Frosthaven. You encounter all sorts of patrons whose rugged appearances often belie a certain gruff kindness. One of those patrons is a vermling trapper who sits nearest the fire and away from the crowd, a square head shadowing their eyes. Sitting beside their wares of lustrous exotic furs, they are currently absorbed in constructing an intricate snare. When you ask them to explain their process, they warm up to you. Much of my time is spent not in action, but in observation. It's a matter of understanding the animals, their habits. If you're truly interested, perhaps I can show you sometime. You readily agree, happy for the company. New hero class unlocked, Trapper.
One of the prisoners you invited to stay in your longhouse surprises you one afternoon.
I just wanted to say thanks for, not executing us. I can't say I'm happy to be up here in Frosthaven, but maybe I needed a fresh start.
He looks anywhere around the room but at you, clearly embarrassed to be saying this aloud.
Anyway, I scraped together a bit of money over the last few weeks. Honest money, and I'll be moving out. Figured I should repay you for a bit of your kindness. It's not much, but here. Anyway, yeah, thanks.
And we got $10 for it. Look at us, being paid back for our kindness.
You're settling in for the night when a stern knock raps against the front door of your longhouse. It's a squat, sweaty Quattrel mail carrier, intent on making a delivery to your longhouse. You look at the package. The address is right, but the name belongs to a previous resident who met an unfortunate end under an Olgox raider's fist. You nod non-committally and accept the package. You're saving the mail carrier a long trip back with the box, really. Now you just have to figure out what to do with it.
So, box for the previous person living here, who is now in the bin. We either keep the contents for ourselves, or we pass it along to some of the previous residents' friends. Well, we are doing our good guy charade further, and we are going to pass it along to the previous residents' friends, obviously.
You find some of the dead guard's companions at the barracks and hand off the package. Opening it is a somber occasion, but ultimately, all of the homemade items inside lift the soldiers' spirits, and using them brings back fond memories of their friend.
I mean, we do have a guy that's made of bugs, and a guy that uses dead people to turn them into shadows to further recycle more people into dead people into shadows. So I think good guy is maybe not quite what describes us adequately. The game describes us as mercenaries, and let's maybe stick with that. Anyway, so we gain 1 morale for our turning that in. Can't believe you just call out bugs like that. Look, man, they're sentient bugs, okay? Unlike regular bugs, so there. Anyway, new class unlocked, the Trapper. The Trapper is interesting. I've only seen him relatively briefly. DK was playing him for a little bit, not for very long though. And they are... they shit out a lot of traps, let's say. Quite a bit of strategy involved in placing them correctly. They have like healing traps and damaging traps, or rather like positive traps and negative traps. The enemies will always treat all traps the same. They can't decide between positive or negative traps, so they always just try to avoid them. You have a decent bit of push and pull cards to move enemies into traps. You heal your team with your support traps. You do damage with your damaging traps. The main weakness of this character are flying enemies, and there are a lot of flying enemies in this video game. Because flying enemies ignore traps, and that is really sad. Other than that is a very, very strong mechanic. Oh, or a very strong character, it seems like. But, yeah. Anyway. So, we have not really much to do here. We have one new recipe, which we might be quickly having a look at, the Restful Slippers. During your short rest, instead of randomly losing one of your cards, draw 3 random discarded cards and choose which one to lose, so that makes sure we don't lose the specific one that we desperately want. Not sure that makes me more inclined to short rest that much, because, I mean... But, yeah. Okay, so he can at least remove flying in some cases to avoid getting proper soft countered. It's almost hard countered, but yeah, he has some cards and mechanics for that, but it does really eat into your other opportunities. There's also items that help with flying enemies, but again, like you have to commit pretty hard to dealing with your counter, and it does hurt how much you can do in the scenario. And also, it is a little awkward. Let's say you have a thing that takes flying away from one enemy, or maybe one enemy at a time. Well, if there's a room with 5 flying enemies, or like a scenario where everything is flying, which is actually not that unlikely, by the way, you're only dealing with one guy at a time at most, so eh. He's also got stun and range attacks that aren't just traps. Yes, but you are playing a much weaker class if that's what you're doing. Like, again, you can do something, but it's sort of like if I say, hey, at least I can standard attack and melee, so to speak. Like, yeah, every character can do something, but it's really not what you're good at, and like a lot of your cards are not gonna be nearly as helpful. Oh, the game thought I was crafting this. Whoops. Or I did actually craft this because it had automatically selected this because it's the top of the thingy here. Whoops, I have those now, apparently. My bad. A bit of a crapshoot run, great against armor ground and his massive headache against flyers. I would say he's really good against anything that doesn't fly, or like if you play him well, like just generally very strong and useful to have. And a lot less good against scenarios with a lot of flyers. If it's just like, let's say there are 3 enemy types and one of them flies, it's fine. You're not gonna notice it that much. If there's 2 out of 3 enemy types, or at least the one enemy type that is flying is massively abundant, is like the main enemy type that's everywhere, you're gonna severely notice it. But if you're playing in a scenario where everything is flying, which again does happen and it's not that rare, yeah, it feels really, really bad. It's definitely a very hit or miss character in that regard. I'm trying to think if there's anyone that's even worse about that sort of thing, and I think it's probably the most, like, vulnerable class when it comes to that. There's an enemy type that we haven't encountered yet. I don't know if they're in the game yet, because we were supposed to get 2 scenarios for this. Like the game had said, we can either take the boat or we can go along dry land. And it didn't allow us to pick the boat mission, like the boat mission didn't unlock, so I'm assuming this is the end of early access on the storyline. But yeah, there's a mission somewhere around here that introduces, or I mean, that introduced it for us. You can obviously play the game in a different order, where we meet an enemy type that was really annoying for my Bone Shaper, for the Necromancer Summoner guy, because they simply decided everyone in range 5 or something suffers 2 damage. And for a guy that makes minions, you can protect them with armor with some cards and effects and shit, and you sometimes can protect them from, like, suffer damage as well, but not nearly as much. And if they just decide, no, I have retaliate today, no, I suffer damage on everyone, no, I do retaliate, I do suffer damage on everyone, you're just like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll go fuck myself. So you do sometimes have situations like that where a character is a lot less fun or a lot less good, and that was also relatively soft countered in that scenario, in that situation. But it was also me slightly playing wrong and getting a little unlucky that they happen to pick those kind of cards more often than not. The Trapper really is the most extreme one that I can think of for, like, having a relatively common issue as well, or rather a relatively common thing, which is flying enemies, be a significant deal for you. Flying is already, like, a little annoying to deal with, but, like, I would wager roughly half the enemies in this game fly or something, so it's not like, oh, every now and then you run into a scenario with the one enemy type. It's like every scenario is gonna have something that's gonna make you a little annoyed. DK ended up really annoyed with that anyway, but it's also not that difficult to annoy the DK, so take that for what it's worth. So I think we should either upgrade our craftsman so we can get some better items, because we do have a decent amount of resources overall, although it's actually not that much of it. Oh, I probably forgot to buy resources last time, because it's so awkward in this. Let me fix that and do it this time. So yeah, I want to upgrade the craftsman so we can craft some better gear. I also want to start making these extra things here, like the boat would be nice, although the mission seems to not be in the game yet, so maybe not. Climbing gear so we can continue the Algok storyline. I also want the walls. We haven't been attacked yet, and As a result, it doesn't look that important yet, but when you start getting attacked relatively frequently, it is actually really annoying. So the walls are not for nothing. Like, defense is a valuable thing to have. These are relatively cheap to make though. Okay, let's make the climbing gear. You provide the wood, you provide metal, 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 why not? Then hide and hide. Boom, climbing gear. Are attacks just town events? There are town events with a sort of battle involved, yeah. They happen as an outpost event, or a town event rather, yeah. Or they are a type of outpost event, I should say. Okay, I'm not gonna do a second mission today because it's already getting a little late. So I am going to call it here, sorry.